Hello, it's the Bald Bearded Bicyclist, and we are back with race recaps. This is day one of the Hamburg Weekend. We are back at the ECC Criterium course, and I got to the front. I clipped in great, so really good start there, but I should have gotten over to the right. The right side was moving much faster, and I fell pretty far back and let some gaps open right away, which ended up kind of costing me very dearly at the beginning of this. So I never was able to close this gap, and I was never able to get back to that front group. So starting off in these crits is huge, and yeah, I mean, I positioned myself well for the start, and I just didn't give it everything. Don't be afraid to put all of it on the line in the beginning. Don't hold back thinking, oh, I don't want to blow myself up at the beginning. If you hold anything back, you may get dropped from that front group, and you'll never have a chance to find them again. So I may have had a couple of chances here to catch him on this straight, but I end up hitting this gutter pretty hard, and I was worried something got messed up on my bike, so I didn't see the other guys coming up around my right. I could have jumped on them and gotten a free ride up, but at this point I'm still looking down at my bike, making sure that everything is okay. And by the time I kind of focus back on what's happening in front of me, it's just a little bit too late. Try to close some of these gaps, but the main group is already pretty far off, you can see. And I never even fully get onto this group in front of me because I just don't give it everything off the bat. I should have really caught up to them before this turn, but the way that everyone punches it out of this turn, it would have been pretty tough for me to close that gap after I'm already pretty winded. So a few opportunities that I missed, but lessons learned. I'm going to skip ahead a bit. So I've been pulling for about half a lap here, trying to stitch it back together. I just can't do it. These guys thankfully pull around me at this point, and I'm hoping that they can put an effort in to get us back up there. And they're putting in a little bit of effort, but then they just kind of sit up. I pull up. I'm kind of in the draft. The wind's coming right to left on this stretch. And I'm thinking, okay, good. They're putting in a little second effort here. They changed on the front. Maybe we can close this gap a little bit. But again, we're just getting really short pushes and spiking up really high and then dropping down really low. So nothing really consistent is happening, and that is not ideal for a chase. We really should be working together to try to close this. But we're just a little disorganized. And if I had the energy, I would definitely try to just jump across, but it's just not happening today. At this point, I'm just trying to hang on to these guys. And instead of working together, people are kind of attacking each other, not letting people get on. And at this point we're mid-pack. It would have been much more beneficial for everybody to work together. But it is what it is. We're all fighting for our positions here. I do get back up with these guys, and then I end up working together with the Salty Chimp racer, Tony, and we just kind of ride together for most of this race, but I'll skip ahead a little bit. So I catch back up with these guys, and I kind of ask them, you know, do we think we can catch these guys? Do we want to work together? And everyone just kind of looks at each other. It seems like nobody really wants to work together. And then once again, racer here, he's really strong. He attacks. I try to jump on, and I'm with him for a little bit, but I'm already pretty gassed, and I just never really get on his wheel, which is too bad because I would have liked to have worked with him. He was really pushing it, really strong. And I kind of gapped the other two guys, so they're working on getting back to me. So everybody's just working a little too hard here. I mean, you can see the moto out in the distance. I mean, the next group is already pretty far away from us. And basically he ends up getting away. This rider behind me on the wind space, he jumps in front, but then he ends up having a mechanical, so once I start riding with the Salty Chimp rider, we end up catching him. But this is pretty much the rest of the race for us. Ends up in this position, so I don't think the once again racer ever caught anybody, and Tony and I kind of end up in this position. But I'll skip ahead a little bit and show a little bit of our chase effort, and then I'll show the finish, because I actually did catch the finish on my camera as we got lapped right at the end. So looking in front, this is that thing in the middle of the road was the riders, the guy on the wind space in front of me. That was his saddle, and I saw it fly off and bounce in the street there. And I mentioned he had a mechanical. You can see he's standing. I would imagine that the saddle rails are very sharp, because they literally just broke right off, and good thing he didn't try to sit down. But I think he ends up just pulling over and sitting the rest of this race out. But luckily he didn't get hurt, and I think he was in the next race in Hamburg, which you'll see, so he must have gotten a new saddle. Just skipping ahead, Tony and I are doing what we can to try to work together here, and you know, we're pushing the pace, but there's two of us, and the group in front of us is pretty big. So yeah, never ever able to catch anybody. Just keeps skipping ahead a little bit. I'm not sure how fast the front group was taking these, but I was definitely taking these turns a lot better than I did when it was wet the first time we did this course. But you know, I was able to take some of these turns when I was on the front at 25, 26, and I was feeling a lot better. Maybe I was just able to push it a little bit more because it was dry and I wasn't worried about it, but I just felt a lot more confident on this course today, so that was good. And it was definitely fun riding with Tony and getting a chance to you know, practice chasing and working together with somebody, much better than had I been just riding the rest of this race by myself. So at this point we are 2 laps to go, and honestly I've been pulling a lot more than Tony, and I'm not really sure if he is just gonna try to get me at the line and take 10th place, because that's really what we're riding for, or if, you know, he's comfortable just, you know, letting me do the work, and then we'll just ride in together, and he's gonna let me take, you know, 10th place. But I kind of put in a dig there, just because I wanted to see how much energy he really had left. seemed like he was struggling a little bit. So I definitely had a bit left, and I decided, you know what, if need be, I can sprint him. But I'm also perfectly fine doing the work, pulling and riding in together. So just kind of wanted to test things out. Did that little dig, and then we're going to be coming in with I think it's either 1 or 2 to go here, but we end up doing one less lap as we end up getting lapped right at the end here. Okay, so here we are on lap 16. This is going to be our last lap, but the leaders are on 17. We just picked up a lapped rider who's behind Tony, and the lead group is coming up behind us. You can see them in the back camera. I was trying to take a look before the last turn, and I hadn't seen them, but they picked up the pace incredibly between then. And I see them after we make this turn. I yell out to the guys, get over, lead group's coming through, but it still kind of screws up Drew Lloyd. You can see in the back camera. But then you can watch the finish here, and it's going to be Ryan Snow on the red bike who's going to take the win here. And I'm going to have a little interview with him right after this. He'll talk about how it finished.
Yeah, I thought the race was pretty good. Pretty moderate sized group today, I think less than Tour Buffalo. Started off really hot, I think I was part of that. Wanted to kind of like spread out the field as fast as possible to see who we were working with. There's a group of about 7 to 10 people that kind of like half the field that kind of got away from the rest of the people. After about 2-3 laps, kind of settled in a little bit. We already knew the wind direction was coming from basically the stadium over there, and through the, I think, 8 turns, we were going with the wind on that long straightaway. Halfway through, sent it for one of the preems. I got the preem, kind of tested out and saw who has the sprint legs. Looked back, saw Steve and the guy that got second, I forget his name. Played some games, we slowed down the pace a little bit. No one really wanted to send it full attack. A couple people tried to do some solo attacks, like with 2 or 3 to go. I didn't really want to chase because I knew I probably could at least place top 3 in the final sprint, so I kind of let some other people, pull them back, which it worked out in my favor, but just luck of the draw, I guess. I probably would have chased if no one else was chasing. I think like 2 to go, there was this guy who got like a 10-second lead. Again, the guy that was second, I forget his name. And he had like 10-second gap on the last lap, but I mean we were coming up fast with the wind. Yeah. That final 2 corners, there's like the big sweeping one, and then like the final one, the stop sign with the final sprint. I mean we were coming at like 35 into that corner, and I mean he had a good lead, but we were just coming too hot. And someone, I guess Andrew Lloyd, he had like a 2-second lead going into that corner, kind of caught some lap people, I think. I mean I was coming in hot. I think I clipped my pedal, and then I just put out the best sprint I could, and I passed one guy in front of me. I ended up taking the win, which was awesome. So that was my 4th Buffalo race, and that gives me points to move up to Cat 3 like now. So awesome. I'll be moving up to the Cat 3, coming out to Buffalo and other races for USAC racing. But no, I mean the Buffalo Cycling Club is awesome. Cool. Good events, fun courses, and everyone's so nice out here. So.
Takes the win.